Give it about a few seconds and then just keep saying prepare.
Oh, it said meeting is now streaming live on YouTube.
Yeah, but on my side, it's like it's still getting there, but go ahead.
Okay. All right, it's all yours. I think Ms. Leslie or Ms. Jones, go ahead.
Good evening. Welcome to, yay. Welcome to John Lewis. Sorry, move this out of the way. Go team meeting where we will follow the agenda as it has been emailed to you and publicly noticed. I would like to remind everyone that this is a meeting of the GO team. Only members of the GO team may participate in the discussion. Any members of the public present are here to quietly observe. For members of the GO team, please identify yourself when you speak. I'm pleased to call this meeting of the John Lewis GO team in order at 6:04 p.m. Our first order of business is to call roll. The secretary will now take the roll.
Please respond present when your name is called. Principal Garner,
Present.
Taisha Laster,
Present.
Kimberly Pruitt,
Present.
Helen Sims. All right. Lanisa Hines.
Present.
And Andrea Leslie, I'm present. Cabrisha Rump. All right. Rejoice Jones
Present.
and Deborah Edelson.
Present.
And Ms. Kirkpatrick is not with us right now. All right.
Okay, this team will only be able to take.
Did you call Ms. Pruitt?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, she was a third person.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
This team will only be able to take official action if the quorum is present. Ms. Secretary, is there a quorum present?
Yes, there's a quorum present.
Okay. We are going to move on to the action items. Okay, our first order of business is to approve the agenda. This was provided to you and copies are here. Are there any changes to the agenda first that we need to talk about? Okay, may I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Second the motion.
All right, a second.
Yeah.
All in favor, please say aye.
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 So the secretary can record your vote. All opposed, please say nay. Any abstentions? And I have been practicing that word. Any abstentions? Please say abstain. Okay. All right, we will review and approve the meeting minutes from our last meeting. The minutes have been approved, provided to you. Are there any corrections? Okay, if no further corrections, may I have a motion to approve the previous meeting's minutes?
Motion to approve previous minutes.
Can I have a second?
I second.
All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed, please say nay. All right, any abstentions? Please say abstain. Okay, awesome. All right, moving on. All right, so the second, okay. Our first action item is we approve the mission and vision statement. Yes. So. Okay. Okay, do I hear a motion to approve this item?
I'm sorry, this is from last time, right? We're talking about last time or?
Yes, the last time we were working on,
Okay,
we were discussing it.
right,
But yeah, I don't think we actually confirmed
right, we didn't.
and what that mission and vision were. We just added some components to it, but we didn't confirm what it would be.
Right.
So are we representing it? Are we looking at it again?
Well, I think it's just if everyone is okay with what we came up with, then we can move on from here, yes?
So I'll tell you, I'll tell you I presented what I thought it should be, and some of the feedback was that we needed to change a few things that were presented. In all honesty with you, I am not prepared this evening to really go back over that. So I would ask if we could table that because I've been so focused on reopening. And so once we get to that part of the meeting, I want to share what that reopening plan for John Lewis will be. But at this time, I'm not prepared to revisit the mission and vision. If everybody is okay with that, then we could push that item to another meeting.
If everyone is okay, I think that's great. Please say aye.
I'm okay with that because I haven't been to any of the meetings, so I think that we should wait.
You want a
I want to
motion-
catch up, so
Do you want a motion to push it to next month's agenda? Maybe?
Motion
Yes.
to approve the mission and vision for the school to next month's agenda. Please say aye.
I
Any
Aye.
Aye.
anyone against, please say nay. Any abstentions, please say abstain. Okay, awesome. Right, well, we will now move to discussion items. The first discussion item is the strategic plan priorities.
Yeah, so for our strategic plan, the budgeting season is right around the corner. And our strategic plan is on the website. I've been sharing with you guys that we will be, after my meeting on Thursday around budget, I'll come back and present, our updated budget with you after that time. But what I can tell you is that our strategic initiatives have not changed. They are still climate and culture, the quality of teaching, and literacy. Next year, we will really have a strong focus on literacy. I have a scheduling meeting coming up next Wednesday, in which my team and I will sit down and really discuss what our schedule will look like for next year, begin scheduling our special education students first priority, along with our SST tier 2 and tier 3 students, our gifted kids, and then kind of, scheduling everyone else from there. I can tell you without a doubt that the first hour of school every day next year will be literacy hour. Exactly what we're going to call it, I'm not sure yet, but we will be using as a school, every teacher in the building, before we do anything, we'll do literacy hour, and it will be based off of the iReady program, which I truly believe in. There's some really great research around iReady and what it does for kids and helping to close gaps. And also, not only that, but taking kids who are on level and above and pushing them to the next level as well. So we'll do a lot of training of our teachers towards the end of this year and over the summer in preparation for that. Another thing that we are working to do, and I was talking to Ms. Hines about this earlier because she serves as our STEM coach / science coach for the school. And so really we are a STEM school. And so it is time for us to begin the process of really showing that we're a STEM school. And so that's going to take a lot of planning with Ms. Hines and Dr. Bradley and Mrs. Lamont and some other key stakeholders to really get this plan rolling. My vision within the next 3 to 5 years is for John Lewis and Victus Academy to be a school that is focused on interdisciplinary learning, where we have showcases, we have judges coming out and really giving our students feedback on world concepts and world issues and problems that they have been able to solve and create in every content area. So, math, science, English, social studies. And so that's where we're going. But that take the first steps first, which is a plan, really training our teachers on what interdisciplinary teaching and learning is, and then begin creating case studies that our kids can be involved in. And the key to it is to really not add anything extra to our teachers' plates, because their plates are already filled. But it is taking what we're already doing and getting the most out of it. So that's the vision. That's where we're going. Those strategic initiatives will lead the budgeting process for our school. And once that is complete, I will bring it to this team for approval.
Awesome. I think that, just a side note, I think that is a great plan. Like, the future work won't just be college. I actually would say that the value proposition of college will decrease, but I'm just saying that amongst you guys. But I think having avenues for the students to get on STEM now and technology now, and really use all of their utility to build something for themselves at this age is great. So
Yeah, I agree.
So that would
we don't
be-
have any more discussion items. So if there, can we have a motion to approve the strategic or review after it's being presented by by Principal Garner to review strategic plan priorities during the next meeting?
I motion to review and approve the plan. I think, Mr. Garner, you said after you have your budget meeting, because then you'll have the template and everything for what we need to include as far as the budgeting process.
Yes, ma'am. From what I understand, this will be my first time going through the process, and Ms. Jacoby is here. So thank you for being here, Ms. Jacoby. After I have my budget training, and then I sit down with my team here at the school and get it approved by my HR specialist and by Dr. Massey, my direct supervisor, and I bring it to this team. Is that how the process works, Ms. Jacoby?
No, actually, so what needs to happen before you do anything with the budget is this team needs to set its priorities, because that's your guiding star. That's like how you're going to go and do it. And then you will, it's either 2 or 3 meetings, but you're going to go and present allocations, and you're going to present a draft budget based upon the priorities that this team has said. Off of our strategic plan, we're picking these 2 or 3 priorities, and we want you to focus on that. And so then after you walk them through that draft budget and they have the time to give you feedback, what happens is that then you take that draft budget to those staffing conferences and Dr. Massey, because you effectively become the advocate for this team in this community. My community has said that this is their priority. And then you have your staffing conferences, and very rarely things happen in staffing conferences that might change the budget, either because, and I want you all to remember that the budget process is happening in tandem with what's happening in the state legislature. So right now, everything is kind of working off of, this is what we think is going to happen based off of the governor's proposal, but things can change between now and March. But when you come out of your staffing conference, you bring back this is the budget that's been approved by the district. It hasn't changed, or it has changed, and then the team votes on that final approval. So you all get the last say, but you really need those 2 or 3 priorities set before you start talking about your allocations and all. And you are welcome to table it to the beginning of the next meeting, but just have that budget. Just know that if you have that discussion at the beginning of the next meeting, then you're really going to have to just jump right into the budget after that. And you might have to have a number of meetings then in February to meet that timeline. Does that make sense? Does that help everyone?
I'm clear. I want to state, though, that our strategic priorities are what I've what I've recommended them, yeah,
Okay.
what I've recommended them to be, which is that climate culture, quality of teaching, and literacy. Now, within those things, there are some other things, but those are our 3 strategic priorities.
And if this team supports that and agrees, then you all just need to have an action item to like cement that, and then
Okay.
you can move on, if that helps. Thank you.
Thank you.
So Mr. Kobe, can we basically just say that the allocation for the budget can be moved over as an action item for the next meeting, as well as confirming the strategic priorities?
So the allocation is not an action item at this point.
Okay. Just a
So
discussion.
it's just a discussion item, yeah. And there's we give an entire presentation template to the principals, and you'll receive the training on Thursday, I think is when they're releasing that.
Right.
And I mean, it's like everything else from our office, we try to make it as plop and drop as possible. So there's a template that you'll receive that will walk you through the information to present at them once you get your allocations. So the priorities, like I said, should probably be approved. If you all agree with them, discuss those today, and if you can cement that in place, because then that means at your next meeting, you can dive right into the budget.
So I would, go ahead, Ms. Jones.
No, I was asking, are we ready to discuss those today as the second discussion item, or could that, or?
I'm ready. Yeah, I'm ready. I'm clear on the strategic priorities, unless there's any, and if I need to further explain anything or give you guys rationale as to why they are what they are, I'm ready to do that right now. But if we could get those locked in, I would like to, just so we don't have to, try and do it again. I don't foresee those changing.
So we are referring to quality of teaching and literacy and climate and culture.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Those 3. Yep, climate and culture, quality of teaching, and literacy.
Well, we've discussed them. Does anyone have any thing to add or say to that? Because during next meeting, it will be an action item, right, Mr. Kobe?
I'm so sorry. I just got a text that an old family friend passed away. Please repeat
Oh,
your.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, that's
Sorry to hear
I
that.
was distracted. I'm sorry. Could you repeat your question?
Basically, after this discussion that we confirmed, these are the 3 strategic priorities. We can move this to the action item for next week, is just confirming that this is what we've discussed and this is what we've agreed upon.
Yeah, but you can confirm it today if everybody wants. I mean, if everybody's, you don't need to, discussion items can become action items in the same meeting. So
Okay.
you don't have to move it, but if people are feeling that they aren't, as my coworker Chandra likes to say, if all hearts and minds aren't in there and the discussion starts taking too long, that's when you can table it again. So does that help?
I'd like to make a motion that our strategic initiatives or plan priorities are quality of teaching and learning, climate and culture, school climate and culture.
And literacy. So it's 3 of them.
Yes,
Yep.
and literacy.
Climate, culture, quality of teaching, and literacy.
So we will change this really quick, guys, to an action item. If everyone agrees with these things being our priorities, please say, all in favor, please say aye.
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 All opposed, please say nay. Any abstentions, please say abstain. Okay, and that is all for our discussion items. Now we will go to our information item, and the first being the principal's report.
All right, so all I really have in my report today is I wanted to make sure that this team is crystal clear on what we just presented to our faculty, which is our plan as a school for reopening. And I want you to know that you can find this document on our school's website. So as I am scrolling through it, feel free to go to our school's website and pull this plan up. We have about 238 students who have elected, which equates to about 25% of our student population. So we have 238 students whose parents have elected for them to return beginning February 1st for our non-special unit students. We have two special unit students who have elected to return, and they will return on next week. So let me, if I could share my screen. All right, so again, I know this will be really tough to see, but this is a very thorough plan that we will follow here at John Lewis, with safety being first. As you guys know, our teachers returned into the building today. It was really a smooth process in my estimation. Each teacher came into the building, their temperatures were taken, they were screened at the front, and they reported to their classrooms, they closed their doors, and they worked. So it was a really smooth day. All of our teachers were in their classrooms, set, doors closed, mask on, whenever they were around, but we really didn't have any congregation. I mean, we've been really thorough around making sure that we don't create crowds and that everyone stays distant. And so I was pleased with that today. Tomorrow is an asynchronous day, so teachers do not report to the building on tomorrow. I'll be here, of course, but our teachers don't report to the building on tomorrow. And then they will report back on Thursday and Friday. And so it is Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday of each week. Wednesdays are asynchronous. Also, this is the end of the first semester. So grades have been posted. Report cards go out, on the 22nd. So I'll get some communication out to the families about that. I'm also going to mail the report cards home to parents so that they will, so to guarantee that they have them. They can also see them via Infinite Campus as well. But report cards go out on the 22nd. So please spread the word in the community. If you have access to, please be on the lookout for your kids' report cards the end of this week. So again, for us, within this plan, this just really thoroughly explains what our safety protocols are as it relates to entering our building for staff, what happens, and what they need to do if they need anything. The front office is pretty much by appointment only. So if teachers need supplies or anything of that nature, they simply contact Ms. Kirkpatrick or Ms. Jacobs, and then we get them everything that they need. Each teacher today have 20 disposable masks for each teacher, 2 cloth masks. Teachers also receive face shields and gloves today if they wanted the gloves. But I'm also ordering partitions for each student desk and each teacher as well to help with safety protocols. And so for us, transitions, and I won't read through this, but basically what you guys need to know is that there will only be a small amount of transitions each day. When our kids return, they will transition off the school bus every morning. They will go through a screening protocol, and then they will transition to their classroom or learning pod for that day. They will not transition from class to class. Our students will be in one classroom throughout. And the primary reason that I decided, and my team and I decided to do this, was for contact tracing. Biggest thing for me is for every kid to go home and every staff member to go home the way that they came, which is safe, right? And COVID free. And so we're going to do everything that we can to minimize contact. So we're creating cohorts or what we're calling learning pods, where our kids will be by grade level with no more than 10 to 12 kids, with the partitions, the masks, with their computers. I've ordered and purchased headphones and supplies for every group of students. They'll have their own personal storage kit or school kit. They'll sit in the same seats every day. And again, if an unfortunate case arises where someone does have a positive COVID test, I can very, very easily know and be able to contact trace and be able to know who was around that individual or who was around that student. Hence, that's the main reason why we have it set up that way. Now, the other part to this is that we'll be using every single staff member in the building. So not only teachers, but every staff member in the building will play a role in monitoring our learning pods or cohorts. Let me just get down to that. This is just our restroom break guidance. And again, you can read this in detail on the website. But no more than 3 kids in the restroom at a time. Water fountains will not be working, but we will have water bottle stations that the district has purchased. So students will have to bring clear water bottles to school. They'll be able to fill their water bottles with water. And I'm also working to provide our kids with snacks. I think it's important that they have a healthy snack throughout the day. I do have one partner, SMED, who is stated that they could possibly get us 2 snacks per week. So I need to work on the other 2 days. But I want them to have a healthy snack and not, I know if I were to take my own kids, or, I'm coming from a high school, I know the kids would stop and get the big bag of like Doritos or Takis or whatever, the hot Cheetos or whatever it is that they like to eat. I don't want them to snack on that stuff during the day. I want them to have something a little healthier, maybe a piece of fruit or then, I don't know, juice. I don't know, but I want to provide a snack for our kids. So that's something that I'm working on. But water bottles, again, as I stated, breakfast and lunch will be in the classrooms each day. Again, to minimize movement. We will not be using the locker rooms. Won't be using lockers or anything of that sort. For any student that makes it to school that may have a fever, when we check their temperature, they will be taken to what we're calling our care room, which for us will be our small gym. And the reason I selected the small gym is because it is a big space that has free flowing air. We can open the side door, and I don't have to have someone right within 6 feet of that student and still be able to monitor until that parent or guardian was able to get to the school and retrieve that student. When it is time for us to have students face to face, and I haven't changed the schedule as yet just because we haven't gotten to that point. But when we do get to that point, our bell schedule will change somewhat because I have to have time in the mornings for the arrival process. So as it stands right now, students begin first virtual class at 9 a.m. But when we begin the face-to-face portion, we'll slide that back to 9:30, and that'll give us a time of 8:45 till 9:30 for students to get off the buses, to get screened, to get to the restroom, and to get their breakfast and have breakfast and enjoy it before we start. So I'll have to do a really good job of communicating to parents of virtual students that class now won't begin until 9:30. And instead of ending at 2:45, it'll end at 3:15. But I'm confident that my team and I will be able to get that information out. Now, here is an example of our learning pods. And again, you can see this on the website because I know it's really hard to see. But as you can see, my teachers, here's the other part too, I forgot to mention this. teachers have the hardest job, and especially in the virtual setting, what I've seen from all of the schools and districts that have gone ahead of us is that they're trying to do what we call simultaneous teaching. And basically what simultaneous teaching is that the teacher will be responsible for teaching the people in front of them virtually and also the people who are inside of the classroom. And I have a wife who's an educator, and I can tell you it's really difficult. So, when I talk to her about it, and I talk to some of my friends who are other principals in other districts and other people in other places, it's really hard. The teacher needs to have two computers, one computer where they can see the kids virtually, and another computer where they can, be instructing and presenting the lessons. And then, you got Johnny in front of you right here that may have a need. It's really difficult. And so what we put our brains together and came up with are these learning pods. And so essentially what's going to happen with our kids is that they will still be receiving virtual instruction. Everybody will still be receiving virtual instruction. The teacher will be in a separate room teaching everybody. And our students who are face-to-face will be in these cohorts or these pods, headphones in, on their computers, socially distant. But now the teacher can focus on our second strategic initiative, which is quality of instruction. I don't want instruction to take a hit whatsoever. And I just throw this reference point in. We've taken the STAR exam twice this year. And though all of the research and the data states that, this year, the achievement gap will widen. And I'm not disagreeing with that, but I can only go off the data that we have. And I can tell you, we didn't see major growth like I would love to see, but we didn't see a lot of backwards or kids moving backwards as well. Our STAR data pretty much stayed exactly where it was from the first assessment that we gave. So I'm really looking to see how I compare that to other schools who've actually done the STAR exam. And we did take a small decrease in some areas, but we actually in 8th grade math, we went up a little bit. So I have to get you guys a detailed breakdown of that data. But the biggest thing that I was proud about is that I didn't see the gap widen, that our kids, they're not growing as I would like them to, but they definitely aren't losing anything. And that to me speaks to the focus that we've had on what's happening in our classrooms and our teachers' ability to be prepared every day and what we're taking our teachers through to get prepared. And it's a lot of work and a lot of training that they are doing to be prepared. And so I know that when I get my kids back in the building face-to-face, we're going to see growth, because the part that's kind of unpredictable is, my kids having access to the internet every day, being in class every day, parents are having to work. And so there are a lot of factors that we can't control. But once I can get the kids here at school and we can control a little bit more of what they are doing, I know that the preparation that our teachers are putting in is going to reap the dividends that we would like to see. But back to this, this is how our schedule will flow. So you see this homeroom time here from 8:45 to 9:30. This is when, again, kids are coming up, they're getting breakfast. These will be the people. So there's a pod 6-1, 12 kids in there, pod 6-2. So it's 7 6th grade pods, which would take care of the amount of 6th grade students that we have. The assistant principals have grouped the kids based off what they know about them. And so these pods would have, so say for instance, you have pod 6-1, it's got 12 kids in there. Ms. Moreno is at the door greeting the kids along with all of the other staff. She's the person standing in that pod until 9:15 when Mr. Conti comes up. He's a support staff person. He's monitoring those kids. And again, when I say monitoring, he's just that person that's there. He's behind his partition. The kids are in their areas and he's monitoring them and making sure that they don't need anything. And then Ms. Ruggs will come in to monitor. Then Ms. Williams during the lunch break, and so on and so forth. So that's how that flows. And this is to ensure that I use every single staff member in the building. Everybody has something to do. Nobody is just idle. And it's not all on my teachers, but everybody has a role to play. And so there's a breakdown of all of the 6th grade pods, 7th grade pods, and 8th grade pods for the school, and who are the people who will be monitoring those learning pods. And then this is just our entire staff roster. These are the teacher room assignments, because some of the teachers had to move out of their classrooms if they became a pod. But we're blessed to have this big, beautiful building where we have more than enough space to spread individuals out. And then this is a detailed description of what arrival looks like, who is there, what they are responsible for doing. We will actually have a simulation next Monday's faculty meeting will be a live simulation where everybody will go into their areas, and we will literally say, okay, it is now morning arrival. Everybody report to your post. And then we will, now it is now homeroom. It is now first period. It is now second period. And we will take the time to move to these different locations and different spots because what I can't afford and what we won't do is be confused or not know what we're doing. Everybody will know exactly what they're doing, and we'll hold each other accountable for being where we're supposed to be, doing what we're supposed to be doing. This is the care team. And so all of these individuals I've reached out to because this was something that most principals were struggling with, to say who would be the person, you know, if a kid gets off the bus with a fever, who's going to, you know, meet with that kid or console that kid or whatever needs to be done for that child. And you can see my name is first, right? I always tell my staff that I'm not going to ask them to do something I'm not willing to do myself. And so I'll lead this team, or I'll be the person that needed to do it if we needed somebody to take one of our kids and be with them while they had a fever. And then you can see a lot of the administrators, Dr. Vincent as well, and Mrs. Green, and Mr. Fuller, and our social worker, our engagement specialists, counselors, psychologists, all of these individuals stepped to the plate and volunteered their services for this work. This is our discipline protocol and non-negotiables. And so again, I believe in really having a solid plan, a solid foundation for everything that we do. I won't read all of this to you, but please go to our website, and again, you can access this document for anyone to be able to see. But essentially, and I'll put this out to the calling post to the parents today, we really don't have a lot of time, you know, due to safety for a lot of discipline concerns. So, you know, anybody that's making the environment unsafe, we'll have to revert back to virtual. But we'll really spell this out and really make sure that our kids understand. Also have some incentives for them, some goals for them at the end of each week, because it's tough to come in and be kind of stagnant in one place. I do get that. We do understand that there are some kids that we may have to make revisions for and help out if they get a little antsy. So not stating that, not overlooking that, but we will not tolerate anybody that's making our learning environment unsafe for staff, for themselves, one, and then for staff as well. So the behavior expectations are there. We will have a really, really clear plan to communicate with parents. Again, a calling post will go out a little bit later if it hasn't already, to just the parents of kids who have elected to come back face to face. And then also, they will receive phone calls on tomorrow, and then next week they'll receive another phone call, and then we will have a town hall meeting next Wednesday town hall meeting for those parents. And that is that plan. That's the short version of it, but that is our plan for our students who will be returning. We will ask for parents to wear uniforms. I want this to be as close to the real thing as possible. For any parent who doesn't have uniform, I'll have uniforms here at the school for those students that I'll give to them. We will ask that we wear uniforms and that we are running this as close to what we're going to run it outside of the learning pods when school does open back fully. Any questions about anything you just saw?
If there aren't any questions, Principal Garner, was that part of the Learn Phase 2 reopening plan as well?
That was it, but I think Ms. Edelson has a question. Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry, because I know the least about how school operates, but as additional family, who knows how long we stay kind of in this mode, as additional families may want to choose to have their children come back, is this all scalable to a large degree for you all?
Yeah, so the good thing about what I think our district has done is that these plans are for 9 weeks. And so when it is time to elect again on parents who may choose to say, now, well, I feel safe enough for my kid to return to school, this plan will have to adapt and we'll have to change. If we get to a point to where all of our kids are coming, then our teachers just go back into their classroom. So it wouldn't be a huge adjustment for us to make. But for the next 9 weeks, we'll keep this plan because we know that the numbers can't grow. They can decrease, but they can't grow. It's a good question.
Okay, if there aren't any more questions, that is it for the items. Does anyone have any announcements? Only if this, we're not promoting, okay. Well, seems like we may be a bit early this time.
We
Oh,
do
wow.
have to ask if there are any public comments.
Okay. Are there any public comments?
Or can I just say something? It's not a public comment, but I do have a connection with Publix. And if you don't, I can ask them about getting snacks, healthy snacks. Is that something that you want me to pursue to make an ask?
Absolutely, Ms. Elderson. Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay. Could you just give me kind of the rough number? I think you said 240 kids. I don't know how many.
140.
Yeah, can you just give me like a rough number? I'm probably not good at the math. How many days kids are there? And is it snacks twice a day? And just tell me really what you need is it for the 9 weeks? And I'll make the ask.
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
And then the second thing is that I think we're getting some more free laptops. If that is.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Is that needed? Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
they are so needed right now.
Okay.
Yeah, they are. So
Okay.
anything that will help us. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. All right. Well, I'll be in touch with you, Principal, about those items. So, but do send me the info about the snacks and I'll see what I can do for you. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you.
That is awesome. Publix too?
We'll see.
I
I
just,
can't
you
promise.
know.
We're
Okay.
trying.
They got the best fruit, so.
I mean, if I get fruit, granola bars, stuff like that.
Nuts. Any
Any of that to help our kids as they are, because it'll be long days. But absolutely, I'll get that to you. Thank you so much for that ask, and we'll see what happens. Okay. Anything else, good people?
Well, we've reached the end of our agenda. Is there any more business at this time? Okay, well, may I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Motion.
to adjourn.
Okay, in a second, I heard two people. All in favor, please raise your hand. Oh, wow, raise your hand. All opposed? Please raise your hand. No one's mad at that. Any abstentions? Please raise your hand. Okay. Well, the meeting is adjourned. Have a happy Tuesday, guys. Keep fighting the good fight.
Stay healthy.
Thank you, everyone. Yep, stay safe. everyone.
Guys,
Thank you.
thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Good night, y'all.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.